Close-up, Garrett Warren. The stuntman was gunned down in his own home, but lived to tell the tale. He knew his would-be killer was still on the loose, and Garrett was looking over his shoulder.
I have a bulletproof vest on. I've invested whatever money I possibly can into all sorts of security around my house. I'm scared to death someone's going to come back and finish it.
Did you think there was ever going to be an arrest?
No, I actually gave up on it and thought, you know what, chalk it up to experience and move on with your life, and that's it.
And you did move on with your life.
I did.
A year after his shooting, Garrett still faced multiple surgeries and painful rehab. He was back at work as a personal trainer at the gym he owned. And that's where he met Isa.
She was also a client of mine that I was the personal trainer to. So while we were first training, she said, you know, I really like you, would like to date you. And I said, well, I have a rule, I don't date clients.
So Isa quit the gym.
And she came back saying, okay, well, I'm not in your gym anymore, I'm not your client, so let's date.
They married in December of 2002, 2 years after the shooting. Maybe the happiness brought along by Garrett's second wife made it easier to get along with his first, Claudia. The anger that had marked their divorce had faded.
We're back to our visitation schedule again, back to shared custody, and we're on speaking terms, and we're actually friendly.
It was about 18 months after Garrett was shot when detectives got that lucky break. In an unrelated case, San Bernardino police served a search warrant on a car belonging to a man named Miguel Quiroz. They were looking for drugs, but they found something else under the spare tire in Quiroz's trunk. It was a photograph of Garrett Warren with a circle drawn on it, and Garrett's home address, which very few people knew. So detectives showed Garrett a six-pack, a photo lineup that included a photo of Miguel Quiroz.
I'm looking at the pictures and I say, by all means, that's the guy I recognize.
That's the guy that shot you?
Yep.
No doubt in your mind?
No doubt in my mind.
In 2003, detectives arrested Miguel Quiroz for attempted murder. He was neither a gangbanger nor a hired gun. Instead, he owned a pizza parlor. Sheriff's Detective Mark Gaiman.
It seemed like he was your middle-class, very nice guy that everybody in the community loved.
And yet, Garrett was identifying him as the shooter.
Yes.
Other than Garrett's ID of Quiroz, there was nothing to suggest they had ever met. They'd ever done any business deal before?
No.
Quiroz connected in any way to the gym?
No.
Any chance that he was driving a car near Garrett that night?
No. None whatsoever.
So what their connection was, or why Mr. Quiroz would kill him, not clear.
Yeah, there was no direct connection whatsoever.
And as detectives soon learned, proving an attempted murder charge against Miguel Quiroz wouldn't be easy. Multiple witnesses said they saw and spoke to Quiroz at his pizza parlor on the night of the shooting. These witnesses weren't really beholden to Mr. Quiroz in any way. They weren't members of his family, they were just customers.
Yes, they were. They were frequent customers of that establishment. Plus, he had the receipts. You know, he handwrites on them. So it was pretty good alibis.
And so, at Quiroz's preliminary hearing, evidence pointed both ways. Witnesses put Quiroz nearly 80 miles away from the scene of the crime on the night it happened. But then why did Quiroz have Garrett's picture hidden in his car? How and why would Garrett finger Quiroz as the shooter? Deputy District Attorney Hoon Chun was brought in from the Major Crimes Unit, and he knew he had more work to do. You got a guy stopped for drug charges.
Right.
He's got a map hidden in his car of somebody who was nearly a murder victim.
Sure.
And a photograph of that guy.
Right.
And the guy picks him out.
Right. So you think, what's the question, right?
Aren't there people on death row for less than that?
Sometimes there's more to a story than meets the eye, which is the case here.
When we come back, investigators discover a picture of Garrett Warren and the man he accused of shooting him.
This is one of those stranger than fiction kind of things. Certainly nobody would write a script like this.
As the plot thickens.